Hello, my name is Adam of Bracewell. I'm the creator and the founder of Love Lust in the Lord, where the motto is preparing you for who God has prepared for you. I call it Love Lust in the Lord because I believe those three things are the biggest influence on the decisions that we make in relationships. As singles, a lot of our decisions are based on the lustful desires of our heart, the love that we have for another person, the Lord that we see in another person, or the Lord that we have in us. Love Lust in the Lord is just a collection of the lessons that I've learned along my way as I journey towards my own spiritual soulmate, and I appreciate the opportunity to bring those lessons to you. So as I speak to you, I hope that someone is blessed. I hope someone is reminded, or I hope someone learned something from the lessons that I've learned. I thank you for your continuous support, and I ask that you continue to come back and support me. Thank you, and God bless. Hello. Today I wanted to share this lesson with you. Something that I've learned as I travel towards my spiritual soulmate. It's something that I'm guilty of, and it's something that I think a lot of other singles may be guilty of also. See, we become so busy with just being busy. We ask God to send us certain things in our lives, certain people in our lives, but then we fill our schedule up so much that we're too busy to even let those blessings enter into our lives. But before I get into that, let me read this scripture coming from Luke 10, starting at verse 39. And it reads, "She had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, 'Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her to help me.' 'Martha, Martha,' the Lord answered, 'you are worried and upset by many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her.'" You see, in the scripture we have two sisters. We have Martha and Mary, and they're described in two different ways. Martha is described as being very busy, very distracted with the household responsibilities. She seems to be running around frantically. She may be cooking, or she may be cleaning, or she may just be serving Jesus and the disciples. Things that are very noble, but there weren't things that were needed at the time. And then we have Mary, who was sitting attentively at the feet of Jesus, just listening to his every word, building a connection, building some level of intimacy with Jesus on his visit. So as I meditated on the scripture, it made me think of us as singles when it comes to love and relationships, and how we often ask God to send us a companion, send us someone that we can connect with, someone we can build and develop a relationship with. But at the same time, we filled our schedules up with so many things. We become so busy being busy that we often are distracted from the blessing that God is trying to send us. We become distracted from the blessing that we ask God to send us. We become busy with so many things like work, children, getting an education. We become busy with things of the church. We become busy with trying to climb that corporate ladder. All things that are very noble, but they may not be things that are needed at the time. And the problem comes in is when we use it as an excuse. We use our busyness as a boundary. We use it as a reason why we can't develop a deep, intimate relationship with others. We use it as a wall of why we can't build that connection. We're busy running around doing things on our to-do list, checking things off, but we are distracted, or we ignore those things that are most important. So when I got to that point, I had to really start asking myself, am I busy, or am I just being avoidant? I had to ask myself, do I use my daily task as a way to fight against love, to fight against romance? Am I using my busyness as a way to avoid getting hurt, or as a way to avoid opening my heart and becoming vulnerable to a relationship? We fill up our to-do list with so many things And a lot of the times it becomes an excuse. It becomes an excuse of why we can't go out on a date. Or it becomes an excuse of why we can't return a phone call to someone. Or why we can't return a text to someone. Because we say we were busy doing something. And a lot of the times that busyness is just a way to avoid, or a way to not become vulnerable, not opening up our lives and not opening our hearts to let someone in. We're scared to take the risk on love. We're scared to take the risk on relationships. So we fill our schedules up with so many things as a way to ignore it. But truth be told, we cannot ignore that need for love, no matter how many things we fill on our to-do list. So as it says in the scripture, Mary picked what was good. She picked what was good and what would not be taken away from her. So the questions I ask myself are questions that I just want you to also ask yourself. Are you busy? Or are you just being avoided? Are you asking God to bless you with something that you are not allowing to get into your life? Are you asking God to bless you with a person, but you're not making the time for that person to be a blessing to you? As the saying goes, we make the time for the things that we want to make time for. So, are you making time for the blessing that you're asking for? It's a very simple lesson that I learned, but it is also very valuable. And I hope that you guys can learn the same lesson that I've learned. Or if you have learned this lesson, and if you do see this same quality in you, I hope that we all can take the steps to change it. So that's all I wanted to say tonight, and I thank you for your support, and I thank you for taking the time out to listen. If you want to listen to more videos, or if you want to read some of my material, go to my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Love, Lust, and the Lord. Thank you.